Ladies and gentlemen, please notice that exits are conveniently located at the front and rear of this auditorium. When leaving the theater, we suggest that the exit at the front of the auditorium will allow you easier access to the parking areas. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And welcome to Forgotten Cinema Lead Up. Each episode, we highlight a film from a popular series and follow it all the way to its most recent release. We'll discuss what we love about the movie or maybe don't love about it, but we'll always recommend you revisit it, even the not-so-good ones. Let's get into it. Butler, what's up?
Nothing, I couldn't stand the hustle and bustle of the big city, so I moved myself of my 4 daughters and my wife to a small little farmhouse in New Jersey in the middle of nowhere. And, I thought things were going to go great. And then, my dog, who I tied up in the yard, and went, she'll be fine. Turned out she wasn't fine, which she wouldn't have been regardless of haunting.
Exactly.
My house is haunted. And, for being responsible for the death of my dog, I kind of got what I deserved. Honestly, screw them. But also, so we got haunted by this witch. It was bad. My wife tried to kill my daughters. It was a bad time. Time.
Especially
then I got a couple of phonies to come help me out.
Phonies. Especially since you weren't in New Jersey. You're actually in Rhode Island, but that's okay.
Oh, is it Rhode Island? Why did I think it was New Jersey? That's my bad. That's my bad. I was so traumatized. I forgot where I moved.
Yeah. So talk about these shysters that you were talking about.
All right. So that is Ed and Lorraine Warren. We are talking The Conjuring, part of our Conjuring lead-up series. Field and I, especially Field, he now lives just blocks away from where the Warrens lived and where they opened up their Warrens Museum. I am, as people know who have watched the regular show, I am a little bit of a Mulder in terms of this kind of stuff. But when it comes to the Warrens and ghosts in general, and especially psychics, and I have my own kind of history with psychics, I do not believe them at all. And the Warrens, there is so much evidence of their shystery that it is.
Ouch!
It puts a tinge on this movie that it didn't like. I never really believed in the Warrens, but I have since watched documentaries about the Warrens that it has tainted this movie a little bit for me. Only a little bit. I know it's still a movie, but yeah, it's
interesting. That's it. Okay, let's get into
not
it.
Lorraine, but Ed's a little.
Okay, well, you have to,
and I know you have your own history as well, which we'll get into.
Oh, yeah, really brief.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you obviously need to separate fiction from fact. I mean, I don't want you to, the movie it's a movie. It's obviously a fictional account, so there is some liberty. So you shouldn't really kind of, yes, everything is always dramatized for our enjoyment. So, well, let's get into the facts, and then we'll get into the discussion, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about truth first fiction. The Conjuring. It's a runtime of 112 minutes. It's rated R, production budget of $20 million. It came out on July 19th, 2013. Its opening weekend, it did $41.8 million, so nearly doubling its production budget opening weekend. Domestic was $137.5 million. International was $183 million for a worldwide total of $320.5 million. Not too shabby. I'm sure that there was no discussion, maybe no real discussion about this IP growing beyond just this first movie. But they clearly struck gold here, and then not only spawned the Conjuring series, but the Annabelle series and the Nun series. So it's pretty good. Production. This is actually what's up.
La Llorona, is that based on Conjuring, or is that based on Paranormal Activity?
I do not.
Didn't that spawn off of something?
I think it's not. It's not in the Conjuring universe. It's
okay,
in.
Maybe that was Paranormal Activities. Spin-off. Okay.
Yeah. So. Right. Sorry, I'm sorry, I got lost. Yeah, no. It's not. It's not. I know it's not Conjuring because I saw that note when I was taking the notes, so it's definitely not part of that. I was gonna say that this movie is probably a good candidate for our look back series, just because of what I said, how it spawned all those other series that we talked about, Annabelle and the Nun. So I thought that was interesting. Anyways, production company was New Line Cinema, the Saffron Company, and Evergreen Media Group, and it was distributed by New Line Cinema, classic 90s horror production company, for those who remember. Came out on the 19th of July. Let's go back a week to the 12th of July, 2013. You had a wide release of Grown Ups 2 and Pacific Rim. You also had limited releases of VHS 2, Killing Season, Fruitvale Station, and The Hunt. I know you saw Pacific Rim with me, I think, in a screening.
Yep.
I've never seen Fruitvale Station in its entirety. I don't know why. I just never. I think I just saw like 20-minute clips here. Well, yeah, no, I know
it's a depressing movie. It's tough to watch. Yeah,
The Hunt is also that way too, and I want to see The Hunt. But I never got around to seeing that. I mean, I do get around to seeing the bad ones, Butler, like Freelance and Spectral, but not The Hunt. Oh, Spectral, I was okay with. Anyways, the in between the Wednesday before when this came out, the 17th, you had a wide release of Turbo. That is the snail movie, the kids movie. I think I took my son to that. He was, well, we probably watched that at home because he would have been 2 at this point, or 1.5. So. We probably until he got home, we watched it when it came out on home video. Anyways, the 19th when The Conjuring came out, you had a wide release of Red 2 and R.I.P.D. Not great films. Limited release of Only God Forgives, which is pretty good, and Girl Most Likely. And then the week after, the 26th of July, you had a wide release of The Wolverine, which I completely forgot existed. The Way Back.
A movie we did on the podcast.
There you go.
A very good movie we did on the podcast.
Yes. And then Fruitvale Station has a wide release this week. And then limited release of The To-Do List and Blue Jasmine. This film was directed by James Wan. I'm sure everybody knows that. He's done Saw, Insidious, Furious 7, Aquaman, Malignant, which is an episode we did, right, Butler, for Forgotten Horror?
Yes, it is. Forgotten Horror 6?
5.
5. Yes, 5. It was 2 already ago. Yeah, wow.
Written by Chad Hayes and Carrie Hayes. They are a writing team, a writing duo. They've done House of Wax, 2005 version, Whiteout, The Turning. I believe Carrie Hayes has done The Reaping and The Dark Side of the Moon on their own. Cinematographer was John Leonetti, who's done Insidious Chapter 2. He's also directed Annabelle and one of our From Console to Screen episodes, Butler. Do you remember which movie? Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Ooh, Annihilation?
Yes.
Oof.
Yes. Composer was Joseph Bishara, who's done The Night of the Demons, Insidious, and Curse of La Llorona, which Butler mentioned earlier. Edited by Kirk Maury, who's done Feast, Piranha 3DD, and Lights Out. And then produced by Rob Cohen, Tony De Rosa Grund, and Peter Safran. Cohen has done Aquaman, The Crazies, and Life is a House. De Rosa Grund has done Josie and the Pussycats.
A movie we did on the podcast.
There you go. And Safran has done the 2025 Superman and 2017, Flatliners. If you are interested in 2025 Superman, Butler did a Now Showing Light on that, which is on our YouTube right now. Check it out. We still haven't talked about it. We kind of did, but me and you have not had a discussion about it.
We really haven't talked about it. Yeah.
All right. So this film has Vera. I can't ever say her last name. Farmiga. She plays Lorraine Warren. She was nominated for an Oscar for Up in the Air. She's in The Departed and the TV show Bates Motel. She plays the mother. Patrick Wilson as Ed Warren, who's in Hard Candy, the TV show Fargo, the 2nd season, and Watchmen, the movie Watchmen. Lily Taylor as Caroline Perron, who's in I Shot Andy Warhol, Mystic Pizza. Mystic Pizza is her first film, I believe. Dogfight and Ransom.
A movie we did on the podcast just last season.
Exactly. Ron Livingston as Roger Perron, her husband, is in Office Space, the TV show Band of Brothers, and the movie Swingers, for those who remember. And then you have the children. Shane Lee Caswell plays Andrea, who's in Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. It's a TV show. Haley McFarland plays Nancy. She's in the TV show Lie to Me. Joey King is probably the one that everybody recognizes. She's Christine. She's in White House Down, Bullet Train, and she's in the upcoming Practical Magic 2. Mackenzie Foy rounds out our children, right? Is that 5 or 4? 5? Is it 5 children? 4 children.
The parent family had 5 children.
Okay.
In real life, but I think there's 4 children.
Okay.
There's Joey King, the smallest daughter,
Cindy,
and then
So Mackenzie Foy plays Cindy, who's in Interstellar, Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 2. Kyla Deaver plays April. She's in Before It Awake and Austin Found. Shannon Kook as Drew is in the TV show The 100 and the TV show Degrassi, The Next Generation. I believe that is their assistant. John Brotherton as Brad, who's the cop who's there. He's in Furious 7 and the TV show Fuller House. And then their daughter, Judy Warren, is played by Sterling Jarens, who's in World War Z and the TV show Divorce. Sounds good. All right. So let's talk. I'm curious how we want to. You had seen this before. I had seen this, but I had not seen it. Again, this is another film that I saw in pieces. I know I've seen the whole movie, but I never saw it sitting down from start to finish. It's one of those movies that was on HBO and I'd watch it, and then it's something else will come up and I go. So I never was there from start to finish. You kind of mentioned in the beginning here that your opinion changed on it a little bit simply because you learned more about the Warrens themselves in terms of the people themselves, the facts.
That and a couple other things made it change.
All right. So then let maybe give me your when you first watched it in the theater, what you thought about it, and then kind of break down a little bit where you kind of saw some cracks, and then we'll just go from there.
So originally, when I saw it, I really liked The Conjuring. I was like, that's unique. It's well filmed, well directed. It looks really good. It tells an actual story. The acting is decent. And a lot of that still holds true. But upon obviously learning more about the Warrens, which I had always thought were kind of, shifty, that shades it a little bit. But like you said, it shouldn't shade it a lot because you're watching a movie, and it doesn't shade it too much. I get that. But I think what shades it the most is that we've watched *Malignant*, which is also James Wan. We've watched, and I just watched last year for Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. They did an Insidious house, so I watched all the Insidious films back to back, which I had originally seen Insidious 1 prior to that watch. But watching it again so close to this, I much prefer Insidious to Conjuring. And originally, I think I preferred Conjuring to Insidious. And there's different reasons for that, considering like the rules of what's going on with the spirits, what the spirit world is. Like this movie plays fast and loose with whatever it wants to do, which is fine when you're doing something like Evil Dead, which I've talked about before. And I think it's fine when you're at the exorcism point. But in general, I need some rules established that they never really get into. And in Insidious, it's all about kind of what the rules are with the spirits, which I appreciate it. I also, while I appreciate James Wan's directing style, and I think his filmmaking style in terms of what his sets look like in these horror films, *Malignant* included these wider open sets, these larger rooms than would really exist in these houses. Watching too many in a row now, I find them very set-like and painted in a way that is very unrealistic. Like you and I talked about, like it's a 14-room farmhouse, and we're like, I'm moving right now. Screw the ghost. I don't care. Lock the basement.
Let's figure something out. House. Let's figure something out.
What do you want? My firstborn? Whatever. All right, I got 4 more kids. Whatever. Like it's who would move into that? Like paint the walls. You're putting up picture frames and not painting those walls. And the way the decrepit walls look are very much like it's painted on decrepitness. It's very much like what you would see going to like Halloween Horror Nights, or if I was acting in a stage play, not maybe what the audience sees from further away, but what I see from close up are brush strokes making it look like it's a dilapidated house. And that's very much what every door, every wardrobe, every wall looks like in the house. And it makes me feel like I'm watching a film instead of makes me feel like I'm watching this family in this house, which in a horror movie is not a great thing. And I think those things kind of tinged my watch a little bit more this time than in my first watch. Overall, though, I still enjoyed the movie. It's just those kind of took chunks out that I don't think took chunks out the first time.
Okay.
But again, we're 12 years removed from this movie.
Sure. Well, so because we've talked about this before, and I think I said it on the main show where I appreciate practical and I appreciate sets and the idea that I'm watching a movie. Like I think one of my things I talked about when we do 70s movies, when we did the Star Chamber, was I really love knowing that, I could tell they're running on concrete, but that's obviously a Foley artist. That doesn't take me out of the movie. So the set, the kind of look of this film and the set that you're talking about, that doesn't bother me as much. And it's curious. I'm wondering do you need more? So your horror films, you're more a Texas Chainsaw Massacre type where you need that grittiness a little bit, where it's realistic, or on the other end of the spectrum. I mean, I don't even know what your thoughts are on 90s horror and how stylized it is, like the urban legends and the screams and
I love urban legend and stuff. Right. Yeah. I love that look. And I think we talked about that when we did, what was that terrible werewolf
Cursed.
Terrible. I like that style. That like sleekness.
Yeah. So look, the over stylized.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But the houses should be like part of the character.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Texas Chainsaw Massacre in general, but I think
Really?
you do
The
what
first
you're
one,
doing.
the original? You don't like
Yeah,
the original?
I'm not a big Leatherface guy.
Hmm.
It's not bad. The other ones are all bad, but I've just never been a big Leatherface guy.
Gotcha.
But that grit works because that makes that house feel more real.
Mm-hmm.
Even in Evil Dead, where the house is fake or the cabin's fake, or Evil Dead 2, where it is Evil Dead 1, it's real. You know, there's this grit, this dirtiness to it that's real, other than painterly, that I think works. Unless you're going to go for a storybook feel, because I feel like on the flip side of that, I love 1408, the film which we covered on Forgotten Horror 5.
Oh no, that wasn't 5. That's either 3 or that's early, 2 or 3.
Holy crap! So we covered that, and although watching the film, the version we did, the director's cut, is actually worse than the regular cut, I still really like the film the way I saw it. But that storybook kind of painterly room works for that because that room isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
But this is supposed to be a farmhouse that somebody moved into. These people agreed to live there, and it's painted like somebody like took a giant shit all over the walls. It's just like it's just the way it looks. It's just like, I don't believe this family would have moved into there.
Well,
I know he says
1971.
he bought it at an auction.
Yeah, it's 1971.
And I know it's 1971.
It's not like they're going to get a walkthrough.
You're still taking a leap of faith there.
Sure.
Like, you didn't know it had a furnace.
Well, that's the one thing the first thing that, because I watched this with my wife and one of my daughters and who's into horror films. So we're watching it, and the basement's boarded up, and he goes down here and he's like, I'm trying to get the furnace on. Well, you were gonna always find, why board up the basement? You're always gonna find this basement because you need the furnace. So it's like, this is an integral part of your house, and it's in a section that's hidden. So I thought that was, but whatever.
And also, who boarded up the basement?
Yeah. There's
the bank sold this house.
Yeah,
everyone died. Yeah, I don't understand who boarded up the basement.
Yeah, there really isn't. Like, they talk about in the movie when Ed Warren tells his assistant, or he's like, when they first get there and they check the house, he's like, oh, we're gonna have so and so look up the history of the house and see. And they never really kind of dive back into that. I mean, maybe a little bit.
Brief explanation. Yeah, Bathsheba was the first owner of the house and cursed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That what was it? Ronan, the little kid. The ghost boy.
Yeah, I think it's Ronan,
yeah. That he was murdered by his mother because she was kind of compelled to kill him. Like, they mention a few things, but they don't mention it all. You do kind of want to get a better sense of the house to know, why was this basement boarded up? Why? Yeah,
you don't. I mean, not that we're saying we need this scene, but you don't get anything like they did talk with somebody from the bank, and he was like, I was there for 5 minutes and whatever. Like, you don't get any of that.
Yeah.
So, but that's fine. I don't think we need to see any of that. So what was I going to ask you? Fuck. What the hell was I going to ask you? Oh, we'll go this way anyways. Okay, so why don't you talk about your other kind of hang up with this film now, which is that you finding out the truth, or what you don't believe about the Warrens, kind of affected your watch here. So what exactly, just the fact that you think they made everything up and whatnot?
I mean, I had already thought they make it all up because I don't believe in psychics.
Correct.
That's just
correct.
I am on the fence about
Arthur
ghosts.
Conan Doyle.
Yeah, well, before he believed in fairies and went off the deep end.
Well, that's
before he was super anti-paranormal, and then he started believing in fairies. I'm more like Mulder. I believe in my aliens, but psychics, like in the Beyond the Sea episode, he gives him his Knicks jersey. Oh, she's hurt. Yeah, it's my Knicks jersey that I wore to the gym yesterday, and he gives it back. I don't believe in psychics. And like I said, I've got my own hangups with psychics that I don't want to get into because it's kind of personal, but like, I don't believe in psychics at all. I think they're all either troubled or bullshit artists. And there's a lot of evidence, especially when you look into the Warrens, you find like documentaries that Ed Warren took advantage of a very sick lady in Lorraine Warren, who believed that she was psychic, really believed it. And I think she truly believed she was helping people, but I don't believe that about Ed. It's a bunch of creepos doing like creepo stuff and taking advantage of people who have issues. These exorcisms are people taking advantage and using religion to try to explain or torture people with mental illnesses 90-something% of the time, which even Vatican priests believe and say all the time. That's not like a made up thing. That's a fact that 90-something% of the cases are absolutely mentally ill people. It just makes it harder to watch after watching the documentary about the way Ed Warren was and all that kind of stuff. And it does tinge the watch a little bit. But like I said, not a lot, because this is a film and you have to take it for granted. Ed was already passed away by this point. So it's not like he was making money off of this film. And like we always say on the podcast, I'll watch a Mel Gibson movie any day of the week. I don't care what he is like in real life. You know, it's the movie. It's not real life.
Sure.
But it does, you can't help but, like, because this is based on that true story, have it tainted just a tiny bit.
Well, I don't think you're expecting to get the exact truth in this movie and the next ones that we do. You're always going to get, because the truth is not, sometimes the truth is just not that dramatic. I know that
for sure,
yeah, like, you know, so like it is what it is. So you don't believe the hokum that you say this is hokum, that because Joey King talked about how she contracted a rare blood disease during filming, and once they wrapped the movie, the blood disease went away. You don't buy that.
I mean, I think people can psychologically create issues for themselves, but like I said, when it comes to actual ghosts, I'm on the fence. You know, I'm older. I want to believe, although believing in ghosts means believing the afterlife is all sorts of terrible. If you're stuck in one place repeatedly, who wants to do that? Right. But you know, Poltergeist, the set was haunted supposedly, and you know, there's a lot of talks about that. I don't necessarily think what the parents experience is fake, but I think that the Warrens coming in and swooping and being heroes is real. Is not real. Like, I don't believe that at all.
Okay.
But what I found interesting in when we just pulled up, because neither of us researched well the actual case, the parent family apparently still experienced stuff well after the Warrens did their exorcism.
It didn't work.
The parent family, the parents didn't leave until 1980 because they didn't have the money to get out of that house. And they experienced stuff, maybe not as bad as it was, up until 1980, and they left. And when they left, they never experienced anything ever again. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
It didn't follow them. It didn't stick on them, as Lorraine says in the movie. You brought up Poltergeist, and I think I remember, I don't know if I said this to you when I first saw this film, that it felt like a modern day Poltergeist film. Like, it felt like this generation's or the, you know, the 2010s version of a Poltergeist movie. I know, like, in 2 years after, and this also kicked off a lot of other movies, and in 2 years you had the Poltergeist remake that came out with Sam Rockwell, which is not terrible. It's okay.
I believe we have it on our list. You almost picked it
because it's not. I didn't hate it. It's tough because when you're watching remakes of movies you really like, you have to get over your initial disgust that you're watching a remake of a film you love. So you're just.
I've never seen it, and I love Poltergeist.
I know.
I've never seen it.
So it's tough to get over that, but taking it on in and of itself, it's not bad. It's got a couple moments where I'm just like, that's pretty cool. All right, so so I had said that this is like a modern day Poltergeist. Let's just stick with the movie. We got our nasty facts out of there about the real life Warren. So let's stick with the film now. What do you think about that comparison?
I would agree. I think that putting the Warrens in as like these heroes, I think there's too much attention on the Warrens. I get that it's the first movie, and I'm sure there were thoughts of or hopes of maybe doing franchises, so there's a little more focus on them than maybe there should be, compared to like Insidious, where you have Elise, the psychic in that film. She comes in, but she doesn't come until the end, and she got her own spin-off films, but they didn't spend that much time with her. In this, I think you spend too much time on the Warrens and not enough time on the family, and I think spending that much time with the family in Poltergeist is very important. But I don't disagree. I just think that if it wanted to get to those Poltergeist levels, I need a little bit more family time.
Okay.
But I agree that it's very similar.
I believe so one of the notes I had was that this was originally like it was either the treatment was done by somebody different, was done by one of the producers, like
Yeah,
this
it's been a long time trying to
right.
get into
And
production. Yeah, it's like
so
20
it's been
something
in the works
years.
for like 20 years, right? And it was the Hayes that they came in and they were the ones that turned the focus on the Warrens that you're talking about, not the family. Which I think is the right move because obviously hindsight's 2020, but
Franchise
this whole lead up
possibilities.
series is leading up to this fourth film that we're going to watch together.
Yeah.
So it was the right move.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that originally it was focused on the family, which kind of is much similar to Poltergeist, as you said. So I thought that was interesting. What about there was something in the in the movie they show the Annabelle doll, and I don't even know if they thought they were going to do an Annabelle movie.
They must have.
I don't know. I mean,
they really lost that.
Because for those who don't know, the real Annabelle doll is actually a Raggedy Ann doll. It's not what that demonic looking doll that they have in this movie. And I'm sure it's because obviously they made that decision because it's a better doll to use in the movie. But also, I don't think they probably have to have rights to use the Raggedy Ann doll. They probably have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Raggedy Al's and Andy must be tied into something still.
Yeah, you don't see them much anymore though, you know?
No, I think I mentioned before air, when I was born, that was like how my parents did my room. It was Raggedy Ann and Andy stuff all over the place. I have a Raggedy Ann and Andy doll somewhere in my closet in my parents' bedroom. It's not possessed as far as I know.
Yeah. So in the movie itself, I should have brought this up while we were talking about Poltergeist. There is a nod to Poltergeist because they have that shot of the TV with the snow and it pulls away. The camera pulls back and goes over.
Yeah.
So they do have that nod to there. So I should have brought it up before. But the other thing I wanted to ask you too was the character of Brad, the cop. Why? Why is he there? Why is there an officer here?
I assume because of the weird stuff they're doing in the house, the fact that they might need paramedics or police officers there.
Right.
They want somebody there who can vouch for them if something goes wrong. No, yeah, I did see some crazy stuff. I know what they're saying is weird. Get a paramedic or get the cops up here right now.
Yeah.
Just to cover their bases, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And then script-wise, obviously you want that skeptic in there because by now the family all believes, the Warrens believe, their assistant believes. You need somebody who's just like, oh, it's just a draft.
Did any
draft do that?
Did any moments in the movie, like the jump scares, did they get you? Maybe not this time because you've seen it already, but the first time.
I think when the second time the "Look What You Did" made with the cuts, when she jumps out at Brad the second time when he's looking for her, I think that got me the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It never really got me in the film the first time. I think this movie does a good job of not relying on jump cuts that much, but the couple there are, I don't think are strong enough. I will say that what got me last time and this time is the anticipation of seeing Ronan or whatever the kid's name was in the mirror in the carousel the first time, and the mom's looking and you don't see him, and the girl goes boo. Her saying boo doesn't creep me out, but like you're just kind of like apprehensive, waiting for a ghost to show itself, which I think is a job well done by the director, by James Wan.
How about the clap at the top of the stairs from behind the mother Caroline when she's first?
I love that. I love the claps. The claps are great.
Yeah, that's the most dangerous thing in this movie is playing hide and clap with a house full of stairs.
That goes over the balcony. That just boop, you're done.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is dangerous, but it's the 70s, so who cares? We live in danger.
The dad's like, you guys don't know the house well enough. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right,
but these are also the people that just left the dog outside. Like for no, like just chained the dog up and it's like,
yeah, she's fine. She didn't want to come inside. She'll be all right.
I mean, come on. Like, what is that? Just if the dog's on the chain, pull the dog in the house.
Yeah. You're in a marsh in the forest in the woods that you know nothing about with wild animals all over the place.
Yeah.
My dog will be all right.
So this film was given an R rating just because it was scary. Like they expected a PG-13 and the MPAA was like, no, it's too scary and no cuts you're gonna make it ever gonna stop it. So it's an R-rated movie, which I was like, what?
There are a couple of other films like that. I don't know the names off the top of my head, but it's just like that's just like your opinion, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not, you have to be objective. There's nothing objectively rated R about this film at all. So yeah, I don't get why it's rated R.
Mm-hmm.
Because Poltergeist is probably PG, right? because it's pre-Temple of Doom.
80. Oh man, you're gonna. I don't know. 83. I want to say 83, but that doesn't. I'm gonna stick with 83. Come on, hit me. 83. Come on.
82.
Oh, so
close.
But I'm good. It was early 80s, so that I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Temple of Doom's 84, so
it's
probably
so
PG.
it's PG.
PG.
Yeah, it's got to be PG. Yeah, they probably fought for it too. I mean, no, it's not directed by Spielberg, even though that's the rumor. I actually read a friggin' book. I read a
There's
book.
a whole book of
Well, no, it was about directing and stuff like that, but there was one chapter just dedicated to he did not direct this film. I mean, I think we talked about this on the show. Like this was his first time producer. I think he had hands on and was influencing Tobe Hooper, but he did not direct this film. And we're going to be doing a Tobe Hooper film. This Forgotten Cinema 7, Life Force. He directed Life Force. So
did he do Life Force? That's awesome.
So we'll be doing that coming up. For those who don't know, and I know we mentioned it before, for those who don't, if this is your first foray into Forgotten Cinema, we actually every year we do a Forgotten Horror series, which is in October. We do just horror films, and we change the look of the set, the look of our album art, and everything. It's Forgotten Horror, and it's all about all the horror movies. So, and then we've sectioned them off. They have their own playlists. So check that out if you want to kind of see what other horror films we did. Actually, we pretty much keep the horror films in that area. We don't, every once in a while we'll do one outside of it, but it's usually just focused in there.
Yeah, just to keep them all on the list. But yeah we do veer occasionally.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of horror, this film, when it came out in the Philippines, they had to hire Catholic priests to bless the viewers before showings. And a lot of people started reporting feeling a negative presence after watching the film. So they had to these priests also had to provide spiritual and psychological help for a lot of these people. I know Butler is like BS, but the people were affected by this, Butler, negatively.
I believe that belief is very strong.
Your brain is a powerful weapon.
Yes.
Mind over matter.
You can psych yourself out and believe something so strongly it happens. Like we talk about in the we did a look back on our Patreon for Nightmare on Elm Street, the very first one for its anniversary.
Yes.
And we talk about how it was inspired by a man from, I believe, the Philippines, somewhere in Southeast Asia, that believed so strongly he would die in his sleep and his nightmares that he did.
Which can happen. I believe that can happen. I mean, what, Butler? We have a movie on our list called Dreamscape that we need to watch. Someone needs to pick, because that deals with that.
It is in there. Yep. So yeah, it's a great marketing tactic, and if you're very religious and you watch a movie that's got these kind of demonic themes, I believe it definitely affects you. Same with The Exorcist affected people back in the 70s.
You cannot, you absolutely cannot believe in God without believing in the devil, because there is no good without bad. I mean, that's pretty, and it's in the Bible. And I don't want to get spiritual here, but even if you don't believe the devil, he believes in you. What's funny is when I was younger, obviously, I watched these movies and I maybe have a bad dream here and there, and that kind of sometimes will happen now. But I'll watch a horror film and it'll be done, and I'll be like, all right, boop, going to bed, and like nobody's business, like, all right, whatever. And I never thought I would be like that. Because when I was younger, it was just, you don't know. And I think I told you one of the scariest films when we talk about it, because we did the movie, for me, was Fire in the Sky, because I tend to I tend to do believe in that. So that scared me the most.
Not nice. Yeah.
Yes. Well, just because I'm like, shit, that's real. That happened. But obviously we talk about that in the show. Check that out. Check Fire in the Sky, because we kind of talk about
that's
that.
That's a good episode.
Yeah. A little bit. So I mean, I don't think I'm there with you in terms of, do I believe? I fervently don't believe, because I just don't know. And but I don't lean. I don't go to psychics every day, Butler, and I don't,
right.
I don't.
Well, I have
do tea leaves.
I have two different beliefs. Yeah. Between ghosts and, obviously in terms of organized religion, I do not believe. We've talked about that in the show before. I don't believe in that stuff. But in terms of ghosts over, I don't believe in psychics, but ghosts, I tend to not believe more than I believe, but I'm 50-50. I've told you I want to do a whole I wanted to do a whole paranormal YouTube channel.
We've had countless conversations about
I want to check it out.
your episodes and about
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Like you say, I want to believe. I do believe in extraterrestrials. For ghosts, it's more proof. Just like I need to see.
Need
to see something a lot more concrete than what
I understand. You're a man
of
science.
I'm very intrigued and interested in the topic, and I watch and read up on a lot of stuff about it.
Let's get into some reviews. Sherry Linden of The Hollywood Reporter says, with its minimal use of digital effects, its strong, sympathetic performances, and ace design work, the pick harks back in themes and methods to The Exorcist and the Amityville Horror. Not quite attaining the poignancy and depth of the former, but far exceeding the latter in sheer cinematic beauty. So she's comparing those two movies to this one. Before you respond, I should say at the end of the film, when everything's okay, she says, we just got a call from Father Steve. He wants us to check out this house in Long Island. That is supposed to be the Amityville Horror. And I'm pretty sure the next movie starts off with the Amityville Horror. Like they're leaving the house, right?
Oh,
I think so.
I don't remember. I watched the second one, but I don't remember the starting.
I think the Amityville Horror House comes into play in the next movie, or maybe the third one. I'm pretty sure. But go ahead. So do you agree with this review?
I do. I think your comparison to Poltergeist is a little more apt than
take that, Sherry Linden.
But only because I think Amityville Horror, it's the house that's the enemy, and in this, it's very much Bethesda. It's the ghost,
the entity. Yes,
the entity. Yeah. So I think, or like even entity comparisons are pretty close.
Yeah.
I just think Amityville Horror is very much the house is evil.
Mm-hmm.
In this, it's very much this is the family. It's a ghost haunting them. I think the Poltergeist comparison you made is much more apt.
And in the Amityville Horror case, that was linked to methane that was causing the young boy in the cellar in the basement to go crazy and do what he did. So that was also disproved, Butler. So there you go. That's for you.
The Amityville case has been debunked for a long time.
I know.
Like basically in different interviews, each family member has basically admitted to lying about it and then trying to double correct. Yeah. The interesting about the Amityville house, I was just talking with coworkers the other day about like scary movies and stuff. The Amityville house, actually, the new owners had to change the entire front of the house because too many people were just like coming up on the lawn, taking photos, visiting.
Yeah.
They're just like, enough of this. Change the house so it no longer looks
put a donation box out front and be like, hey, listen, just can you give us some money if you're going to do this? I mean, people do it.
$20 a photo.
Yeah.
$20 a photo.
$20 a photo. I'll pretend I kill you. Come on. Come on. Lean into it. You make some money.
Put 2 red bulbs like in the windows.
Yeah, exactly. Justin Chang from Variety said that a sensationally entertaining old school freakout and one of the smartest, most visceral, effective thrillers in recent memory. I do think this movie works, despite your reservations about the real life stuff and just some of the cracks in the facade, as you kind of noticed too. I still enjoyed watching this film, and I still think this movie works. So I kind of agree with this one, but obviously your counterpoint to that.
I agree with that. My main counterpoint is those cracks are only apparent because James Wan's other film, Insidious, is so similar and I think does it better. And it also stars Patrick Wilson.
Gotcha. And I've never seen Insidious, so there's that too. So.
I think you'd really like those films.
I'll try to get into them.
But yeah, I think Insidious does it better and is just kind of like overscored and overshadowed by Conjuring, maybe because it's just a more popular.
Gotcha.
Like that based on a true story thing overlaps Insidious, but Insidious is how James Wan got Conjuring.
Okay.
And he didn't want to do it because it was so similar. And then he was like,
you give me a lot of money. All right. Yeah. It was a smart
he says, choice. Based on a true story. Okay.
It was a smart choice.
You were like $20 million and the next Fast and Furious movie. They were like, all right.
Let's see. I'm gonna give you a bad one. This is the bad one. Andrew O'Heher of Salon says that the film provided, quote, all the scream-inducing shocks you could want right on schedule, end quote, but thought the central concept that the innocent woman accused and executed in the Salem witch trials was, quote, actually were witches who slaughtered children and pledged their love to Satan, and everything was reprehensible and inexcusable bullshit, end quote. So he is just angry about them using real life cases
Well, this goes to what you're telling about me. You can't use that to shadow your opinion of that film.
That's a tough review there.
Here's the other thing about Bathsheba. She was real.
Yeah.
And in documentation, although hard to prove, she did sacrifice a neighbor's child, not her own child, but a neighbor's child to Satan. So where are you at now, dude? Like, I'm sorry, but
I'm sure that's I'm sure that's mental illness as well. But yes, no.
Sure.
Yeah.
But she claimed she was a witch. She executed her neighbor's kid.
Yeah.
For Satan.
Yeah,
So
for him.
You could say it's inexcusable bullshit, but it's real bullshit.
I guess I know this is when I usually start talking about would you recommend it, and I will a little bit. Yeah, well, actually, there you go. Let me. That's usually what we do in the main show. So I guess I'll ask you,
right?
Not just this movie, but the whole series. Let's do it like that. Would you recommend people, and who would you recommend it to?
We haven't talked about those yet.
Yeah, I know that's true. This film, then, just this film.
I would definitely recommend this film. I think it's got in the Warrens, especially if you're not like as big on the topic as me of ghosts and the paranormal. You don't have that baggage coming in. They're very interesting in that they're protagonist heroes in a horror film that aren't just like the final girl. They're out there hunting the ghosts, solving the issues. They're experts in that kind of thing. I think that puts a very interesting spin on the film. I think it's well filmed, even though on second watch after Insidious and watching too many James Wan films, the sets look too steady for me. They're really nice sets. And it's still the way James Wan films is just, it's really like classic kind of directing style, which I really like the way his filming guy. Style is. Yeah, he's a classic kind of director. And there's a couple of shots, like there's one where the camera turns, pans, and goes upside down, although I don't remember exactly what shot that is. That's a phenomenal shot. So I think a lot of this film is definitely worth watching. It's a great Halloween watch. It's a great movie, like an intro, like you watched it with your daughter, although she's getting more into horror movies. I think this is one of those movies you can watch with you like, oh, I just want to start watching scary movies. This is one of those films that I think you can start them on where it's not like crazy scary enough to get them scared, but in like gradual steps as you go on their horror journey.
So you're saying it's more of a mainstream horror than it is. Like when I think of Insidious, I think of Insidious as a couple notches below like a mainstream. Like Insidious is for somebody who is into horror a little bit more and knows, like the underground horror stuff. Whereas The Conjuring is somebody who's like, it's Saturday night, let's go watch a scary film. Let's go watch The Conjuring, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would agree. They're both very similar, but Insidious has that level of you've seen horror movies before, and you're okay with this universe and these rules that they're setting up. That really helps if you've seen a lot of horror films before. But The Conjuring, it's mainstream. It's good. It's well filmed, well acted. I'm a sucker for anything with Ron Livingston in it. I don't think he's in enough. So
Ron Livingston,
I think it's solid. Same with Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson's had himself a good career. They both have had themselves good careers.
They've been in good stuff. Yeah.
I mean,
but Ron Livingston, like ever since I saw Band of Brothers, I was just like,
Band of Brothers is great.
Like everything.
Great film. Yeah. Great series. Excuse me, not just film. Great series. My note before about the script was that DeRosa Grund wrote the original treatment, and then they brought on the Hayes duo. They were brothers. They're siblings. They brought them on to kind of refine it. And they used the treatment and like the Ed Warren tape. And they also talked with Lorraine Lauren a bunch of times over the phone to clarify details. I don't know what details that they clarified. So this movie does have that influence of the Warrens there in terms of just what they did, what they saw. We take that with a grain of salt because you don't know what they were told. And we already talked about, your disbelief of certain things. So
Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga went to go visit the Warrens. Vera Farmiga kind of learned some of the mannerisms and the way she talks.
Yes, and
all that stuff's really cool. It's cool to do that homework. It's also really weird to see Monroe, Connecticut appear on screen.
And that's nothing and there's nothing that is not Monroe.
Yeah, I was like, where's that house?
Yeah, I know. So for those who don't know, that's where I live. I live in Monroe, as Butler said. There is that I've told you, Butler, the graveyard that you pass on Pepper Street when we go. White Lady graveyard. It's the lady in white is supposed to come out of there. I've not seen her.
Every time I leave at night recording, I look and I'm like, "Where's the white lady? I'm gonna see her one day. I'm gonna see her one."
Never seen her. Not that I'm looking for it, but never seen her. But yeah, no, I know where the house is. I've never seen the house because it's actually tucked away. You have to actually go up a side road to get there. So I've never seen the house. And I quite honestly, like, I'm of the idea, like, yeah, I'm sure a lot of it's hokum. I don't want to test it out.
Oh, absolutely. Like the Annabelle doll or whatever is available right now because Matt Rife bought it. And it's just like, I don't believe it. But I'm also not going to put it in my house next to, my wife and my dog. And
that, exactly.
Yeah, go nuts.
That's one of my favorite moments in Nope, the movie Nope, where he's in the shed and the alien thing moves and he's like, nope. And he's like walking away because I'm like, that's exactly what I would be doing. I'd be like, no, I'm out of here. See you later. So that's absolutely what I would be doing. That's what my first note is here when they get in the house and they first realize something's going on. I'd be like, why are we here? Let's go. Everyone pack it up. We're leaving. Let's go. Call the bank.
Doesn't matter. It's latched on. It's going to follow you now.
But I would have known that at the time. So I know we usually ask, hey, why is it forgotten? And we already did that. So we're not going to do that for the lead up. Obviously, for those who don't know, we're going to be watching the next. We're going to be watching the next 2 sequels. Well, yeah.
We're not doing the spin-off.
Conjuring 2, and then no. And then the Conjuring, the Devil Made Me Do It. And then we'll be doing a now showing episode of the Conjuring Last Rites, which comes out September 5th. So we'll probably watch it that Monday after. We'll try to figure that out. So we'll try to watch it the week after at some point. Or maybe we'll just try to do it on the weekend. I don't know. I don't understand why it's in IMAX. I mean, that seems stupid.
Is it in IMAX?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
That seems like a waste.
Oh yeah, I'm okay not seeing it.
Yeah, so
they clearly just didn't have anything to put in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just anything they can. Like I feel like it's gonna be up-res and it's gonna just be like, meh, come on. I don't need to see this in IMAX. But anyways, so that's our plan for this lead up. We haven't done a lead up in a while, so which is pretty cool. So we've got a bunch scheduled. Right. So we're actually cranking out the content. We're pretty excited about that. If you haven't seen The Conjuring, spooky season's coming, so definitely jump on that. If you want to follow along. I got nothing else, Butler. Why don't you hit them where they can find us?
You can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com, wherever you get your podcast. New episode comes out every Wednesday. When you're watching this, we've just released our Gladiator 1992 episode, not the Russell Crowe film.
Top of the head.
Check that out.
Part of the body.
Yep. Cuba Gooding Jr. is in it. James Marshall. It's a pretty fun watch. And then this will come out when you're watching this. We're also recording our next episode, which will be our audience choice episode, which will be Warhorse, which will come out in a few weeks after that.
It'll take 3 days to watch that.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming out, and like Field said, Forgotten Horror is coming out starting in the beginning of October. We got a lot of fun stuff and fun merch coming out with that. So if you want to join our Patreon, keep up with everything we're doing there. We have paid tiers or free tier. You get stuff with the paid ones. Obviously, just keep track of what we're doing on the free one. Mm-hmm. Go check that out at patreon.com/Forgotten Cinema. Like, rate, subscribe, comment. What's your favorite Conjuring film? Which one do you prefer, Insidious or Conjuring? Let us know in the comments below.
Ooh, interesting. And obviously follow us if you go on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You got a group there you can join. And also, as I'm sure it's going to pop up down on the screen, like and subscribe here and on YouTube. So there you go. There it is. It's right there. I don't know where it is.
I'll have a pop up all over the place. You'll be covered.
Great. Yeah. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Look forward to our next lead up, The Conjuring 2, which will be hopefully a week or so after this. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema Lead Up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
I can't say keep it spooky.
I know. I was waiting for you to be like,
spooky adjacent.
Keep it spooky light.
Spooky light. Keep it pre-spooky.